Before the sun rose over the tall walls of Anselm Keep, a small figure concealed within the folds of a heavy cloak crept through the streets. The woman kept her hands clutched inside of her wrap, and a basket dangled from her arm. Her head was shrouded, and she glided through the mists more like a spirit than a mortal. The tinkling of the Vespers bell alerted her to slow her pace, and she sank to her knees and crossed herself as the priest passed. She didn't glance up at him, and he didn't look in her direction, but each was profoundly aware of the other. Once he'd passed, she was again moving quickly, her head bent and obvious determination guiding her step. She stopped before a humble shop and tapped impatiently at the door. It opened immediately. A woman of perhaps 50 years and of robust health stood in the portal. "My lady," she greeted her, "please come within and sit by the fire." She entered eagerly, almost before the woman completed the invitation. Once inside, she pushed back the hood of her cloak, and her exquisite beauty was revealed. She shook out her thick, dark hair, not yet properly bound for the day, giving away the fact that she had not partaken of her morning grooming rituals, but had come on her errand quickly upon rising. "You knew I was coming," she said. It was not a question. The room was crowded with spools of fine threads and sewing trivia. Lace hung as if on display, and articles not yet completed were stacked about the simple shop. Near the door that led to the shopkeeper's living quarters, there sat a table covered with a rich cloth of scarlet. Upon the cloth rested a stone of crystal, which seemed to twinkle of its own. The lace-maker, Giselle, looked toward it and said, "Your footsteps in your chamber early this morn roused me from my sleep. I knew you were bound here." Lady Udele turned her attention to the fire to hide the light of impatience that glittered in her emerald-green eyes. She stretched her hands toward the fire, though in truth she wasn't cold. Indeed, the high flush on her cheeks indicated that she was filled with the warmth of great energy. "Then would you also know why I have come?" she asked without looking at the woman. Giselle didn't answer at once. She let her mind go back over the past. 20 years ago, Lady Udele had been the youthful bride of Lord Alaric de Corbney. She was directed to Giselle by one of the serving women in the castle. Then her belly was swollen with babe, and her eyes had that same excited, almost desperate light. She was only 14 years old.